We are going to start now the next chapter of class 9th mathematics, the chapter 3rd, that is coordinate geometry. So in this chapter we will start with the some basic definitions, and the first definition we have, it is the Cartesian coordinates. For Cartesian coordinates we require the definition of the ordered pair. So we are saying if we are given two numbers, say 2, 3, we are saying a pair of numbers is given to us. If we fix the position of these numbers, we say we fix the position, that is 2 is at the first place and 3 is at the second place, then this kind of pair, it is called an ordered pair. As mentioned over here, we are saying that if we are talking about 2, 3, it is an ordered pair. It means 2 is the first element, 3 is the second element. Suppose I am considering another element 3, 2, then these two are not equal, because over here the first element is 3 and second element is 2. So as a pair, if I will talk about, it is 2, 3. So we are saying these are two elements as a pair. But ordered pair means if 2 is the first element, 3 is the second element, their position is fixed. So we can represent what coordinate geometry is. Basically we can represent every point on the plane as an ordered pair. If we consider any point on the plane, we can represent it as a ordered pair of real numbers, and these ordered pairs are called the coordinates of that point. We are saying this 2, 3 will be coordinate of some point. And the branch of mathematics in which geometric problems are solved through algebra by using the coordinate system is called the coordinate geometry. So what we are saying, that if suppose I am talking about some plane is there and some point is there, another point is there, another point is there, we want to study the properties of these points. So one thing is we can study them geometrically. Second thing is we assign the ordered pair to each of these points. Suppose for this point I am saying it's x1, y1, some number may be there, 2, 3. For the second point, suppose I am saying it is 4, minus 3. For the third point, suppose I am saying it is root 7 over 3 by 2. So when we are studying these points, we are talking about the coordinates of these points. Then the geometrical problem, we convert it to algebraic problem, and we study the geometrical problem algebraically. Then this kind of study is called the coordinate geometry. So for the coordinate geometry, the basic requirement is the coordinate system. So coordinate system we are talking about, coordinate system consists of two axes. We are saying if any plane is given to us, we are having now two axes. Now previously we have studied how to represent the integers. We are saying it is a number line over here. We are saying this point is 0, 1, on this side it is -1 and so on. This is number line. Next we can represent the integers, we can represent the real numbers on this. Now we are talking about the plane. We are saying we are given a plane region. So basically we are saying this line, two lines we have drawn over here. One is the horizontal line and one is the perpendicular line on it. These two lines, these are mutually perpendicular to each other. These two lines are mutually perpendicular to each other, and we call these lines as coordinate axes. Earlier this line was called the number line. Now we are not talking about the number line, we are talking about the plane. We have drawn two lines on this corresponding to a fixed position. This fixed position is called the origin. We have drawn two lines passing through this, and these two lines, these are perpendicular to each other. This represents perpendicular to each other. So we are saying that these two lines are called the coordinate axes. And how we name this? This point is O. On the right hand side we write it is x, and on left hand side we say it is x dash. In downward direction we write it is y dash, and we are saying this is y. So this line x o x dash you can say, or you can say it is x dash o x. This represents, this is called the x axis, or you can write x axis. And this vertical line we are having over here, this is called the y axis, or you can say it is y axis. So three things we have considered over here. First is we have an origin, this point is O, this is fixed. We dot two perpendicular lines passing through this origin. These lines are called the coordinate axis. We have two coordinate axes. One is called the x axis. It is represented like x dash o x, and second is the y axis. It is represented y dash o y. This is called the y axis, and this O point, it is called the origin. So what we are going to do next is this origin, we are saying O, this basically this represents the 0 part. The next thing we have over here is the how we mark the points on these axes. So marking the point on these axes is same as we mark the points on the number line. We say that this point O is the origin. This is x dash, this is x. This axis is the x axis. This axis is the y axis, perpendicular. Both these axes, these are perpendicular to each other. How we mark the point? Just as we mark the points on the number line. We are saying this is the point 0, then we have 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 on the left hand side. Similarly, we have marked these points over here, that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on the left of this it is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 and minus 5. So these are the points on the x-axis. Similarly, on the y-axis, in the upward direction we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the downward direction it is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4 and minus 5. It is not like this that this ends over here. It keeps on going like this. So basically you can find minus 7, 7, 10, whatever you want on x-axis as well as on the y-axis. You can mark these points. So what we are saying, on the right, if we are talking about x-axis, on the right hand side we have marked the positive numbers, on the left hand side we have marked the negative numbers. On y-axis, in the upward direction we have marked the positive numbers, in the downward direction we have marked the negative numbers. So this is just a convention that we mark the points like we have marked these numbers on this axis like this. Convention means yes, that this is a universally adopted procedure. There is no reason behind it. This is universally adopted procedure over there. Now next thing we have is the coordinate of a point. So how we have started this chapter is we are saying that some plane is given to us, and corresponding to each point on that plane we want to assign a ordered pair to that point. Numbers, we want to assign some numbers to that point. So we are saying, suppose this is the plane that is given to us. We are talking about this plane, this whole plane we are talking about. This is the whole plane we are talking about. So what we are saying now, first thing we have done over here, we have fixed this point O, any point on this plane, and we are saying this is the point O we have, that is the origin. Next thing what we do, we mark x-axis, we mark y-axis. These are called the coordinate axis. Next thing, we mark these axes like this. We mark the points on these axes. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. This is 1, 2, 3, so on. Then it is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and so on. Now suppose we are given any point on this plane. We are talking about, we are given any point on this plane. this point is given to us. We are saying this is the point P. So what we do is we draw a perpendicular from this point on the x-axis, and we draw a perpendicular from this point on the y-axis. From this point P, we draw two perpendiculars. One is the perpendicular on the x-axis and second is the perpendicular on the y-axis. Suppose it cuts the x-axis at a distance of a units. It cuts the x-axis at a distance of a units. Then we say this point P has the first coordinate as a. Why? This represent where it cuts the perpendicular from P cuts the x-axis. So why we are saying it is ordered pair? This is fixed. You cannot change it like this. We are saying point P is given. We draw a perpendicular on the x-axis. It cuts the x-axis at a distance a. So we say the point P, we are saying it is an ordered pair, means there are two terms over here. The first term is where it cuts the x-axis, and suppose on the y-axis it cuts at a distance of d. Then the second coordinate will represent this point B over here. So what we get from this is the point PAB. So it is, I hope this is clear to you, that A represents where the perpendicular from P cuts x-axis, the distance from the origin, and B represents the distance from origin to the point where perpendicular from P intersects with y-axis. So this distance B and this is the distance A, we are saying, and this is the ordered pair. Why ordered pair? Because this represents with x-axis, this represents with y-axis. This is fixed, and this is called the coordinate of point P. This is called the x coordinate, and this is called the B is the y coordinate, and another name for these are x coordinate is also called the abscissa, and the y coordinate is also called the ordinate. These names you have to remember, that x coordinate is called the abscissa and y coordinate is called the ordinate of P. Now what we have is, we are saying that any plane is given to us. We have considered an origin, we have drawn the x-axis, we have drawn the y-axis. So basically the whole of these lines are infinite lines. So it means this divides our whole plane in 4 parts, and these 4 parts I am talking about, this is the first part like this, then we have another part over here, this is the second part, then we have another part over here, this is the third part, and this one is the fourth part over here. So these 4 planes, basically these are also planes, these are called the quadrants. So how many quadrants are there? These are called the quadrants. These are the 4 quadrants we have. This one, this is quadrant number 2, this is quadrant number 3, and this is quadrant number 4. These numbering, this is fixed. This numbering is fixed. You cannot say that this is first quadrant, this is second quadrant. These numbers are fixed, that this quadrant is called the first quadrant, second, third, and fourth. So what this table represents is, when we are talking about the first quadrant, if suppose some point is over here, at this point there is some point over here, we draw the perpendicular on y-axis, we draw the perpendicular on x-axis. It will cut x-axis at this point, it will cut y-axis at this point. Both these are, this is on the right side of origin, this point is above the origin, so it means both the coordinates over here, x coordinate as well as the y coordinates, are positive. So signs of the coordinate for the first quadrant is both are positive. Now if we talk about the second quadrant, suppose I am considering a point, this point in the second quadrant I am considering. I draw a perpendicular on the y-axis, I draw a perpendicular on the x-axis. Now this point on the x-axis over here, this is in this direction, on the left side of 0. It means it will be negative over here value, and the value of y will be positive over here. So it means in this quadrant the answer, the x value will be negative and y value will be positive. This thing is mentioned over here, that in the second quadrant the x coordinate is negative and y coordinate is positive. Next, this basically is this thing basically we are trying to write is that x is greater than 0 and x is less than 0 and y is greater than 0. Now in the third quadrant, if some point lies in the third quadrant, suppose this point I am talking about, we draw it like this. So x is negative as well as the y value is also negative. So we are saying for the third quadrant x is less than 0 and y is less than 0. It means both the coordinates have the negative sign over here. Similarly in the fourth quadrant, we say the value of y is negative and value of x is positive. Value of x is positive means the x coordinate is positive, means that the point is on the right hand side of the origin, so it will be positive. This is below the origin, so y coordinate will be negative. So in fourth quadrant we are saying x coordinate is positive and y coordinate is negative. This is mentioned over here, that in fourth coordinate x coordinate will be positive and y coordinate is negative. These are called the sign conventions or sign of the quadrants or sign of the coordinates we are talking about, that in which quadrant what will be the sign of the coordinates. Now what we have seen till now is, we are saying suppose this is the origin O, we have 4 coordinates 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now for the first coordinate, both the x coordinate and y coordinate they are 0. For second, x coordinate is negative. Why? This point is here, so this is positive and x coordinate is negative. Next, in third coordinate, suppose this point is here, this is negative, this point is also negative, and in fourth coordinate we are saying this is negative and this is positive, and in first coordinate both of these are the positive. Now if suppose some point lies on the y-axis, we are talking about some point lies on the y-axis or some point lies on the x-axis, then we are saying they do not lie in any quadrant, because these points, these lie on axis, not in any quadrant. Now we have a question over here, that it is draw the lines x dash ox and y o y dash. It means we are talking about we have to draw the axis on the graph paper and we have to plot the points a 5,3, b this, c this and d this. So we see how we can plot these points. So when we have to plot 5,3, it means what we are talking about, that on the x-axis it is 5 distance from the region and on the y-axis it is 3 distance from the region. So we first of all what we have done, we have drawn 2 perpendicular lines. We mark this point as O. This is x, this is x dash, this is y, this is y dash. Next thing we have to do is we have to mark the points at equidistance on this. We mark the equidistant points on x-axis and y-axis. This is shown in this figure. The next step we have to do, we have to mark the point 5 comma 3. It means this is represented the x coordinate, this is representing the y coordinate. So what we do, we move the 5 units 1 2 3 4 and 5 unit towards x, and we move 3 positive units towards y. Now we draw perpendicular on this and we draw perpendicular over here. The point where they will meet, that is representing this point A, 5 comma 3. Next we have to draw B, minus 2 3. Now when we are talking about minus 2, it means this is x coordinate is negative, this is positive. And what does this thing mean? It means it is lying in the second quadrant, that we can see from here that minus 3 is here and 2 is over here. So when we draw the perpendiculars on this, we get this is the point B, minus 3 comma 2. So basically it lies in the second quadrant, this point lies in the first quadrant. Next we have to draw minus 5 comma minus 4. So both these coordinates are negative, so we are saying we have to move 5 units on the left towards x and 4 units below in the direction of y-axis. Below the origin we have to move. So when you will draw the perpendiculars over here, so we say this point where these are intersecting, this is the point C, minus 5 comma minus 4, and last point, this is now the third quadrant. Both of these are coordinates, they have the negative sign over here, and the last one is D is 2 comma minus 6. So the x coordinate is positive, this is negative. So in which quadrant it is lying? It is lying in the fourth quadrant. And how we will draw it? We are saying that we have to mark the point on the x-axis, it is 2 units, on y-axis it is minus 6. This is fixed, that this is on x-axis, this is on y-axis. Again we draw the perpendiculars over here, and the point we will get, it is D2 comma minus 6. This is the point we have over here. Next question, we have to tell in which coordinates do the following points lie. So first is 4 comma minus 2. So for 4 comma minus 2, here suppose I am drawing it like this, we are saying x is positive and y is negative. So where x is positive, we are saying that x is positive in this direction, this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis. We are saying x is positive in this direction and y is negative in this direction. So basically I am talking about this point lies in this coordinate, this quadrant, and this is the quadrant number 4. Next is minus 3 and 7. Minus 3 means the x coordinate is negative, y coordinate is positive. It means this point lies in the second quadrant. Next is minus 1 and minus 2. So it means minus 1 means x is negative, minus 2 means y is negative. It means this point lies in this quadrant, it is quadrant number 3. Next is 3 comma 6. So both of these are positive, both these values, these are positive. So what we get is that x is positive, y is positive. It means this point lies in the first quadrant. So this is also shown over here, that the first point lies in fourth quadrant, second lies in second, third lies in third, and the fourth one lies in the first quadrant. Now in the next question, the graph is given to us and we have to mark the points. We have to tell the coordinates of the point, that are P, Q, R, S. We have to tell the coordinates of this point. So if we look at the point P, what do we see? On the x-axis it is at 2 and on y-axis it is at a distance of 4 units. So the coordinates of the point P will be 2 comma 4. This is corresponding to x coordinate, this is corresponding to y coordinate. Next, if I am talking about the point Q, this is on x coordinate it is 4 and on y coordinate it is 2. Next is the point R. On the x coordinate it is -2 and on the y coordinate it is 3. Similarly, when we are talking about the point V, so point V is on the x side it is -4, on the y it is -1. So the coordinates of point is -4 comma -1, and last point is S. On the x side it is 5, on the y side it is 3, so it is 5 comma -3. So this thing you have to keep in mind, that whenever we are writing the coordinates A and B, this is representing the x coordinate and this is representing the y coordinate. This is fixed, you cannot interchange these values. If suppose in place of this you are writing it is -3 comma 5, this is wrong, because -3 comma 5 will not be over here, it will lie somewhere at in this quadrant. So that is why we are saying that these are the ordered pairs. Ordered pair means that their order is fixed. If we are talking about the 5.5 comma -3, it is not representing, it is not the same as the point -3 comma 5. Next thing we have is the points on the coordinate axis. So again we draw the graph over here. We have talked about the points. Suppose I am talking about this point, we say we draw a perpendicular over here, we draw a perpendicular over here, and we say this point is A comma B. It means it is at a distance of A in this direction, it is at a distance of B units in this direction, and we say this is the point AB, O, X, X dash, Y and Y dash. Now suppose any point is given to me over here and we are saying this is at a distance of X. I am talking about this point on the axis. So what are the coordinates of this point? So on the x-axis it is at a distance of, if I am talking on the x-axis, it is at a distance of x unit, and if I draw a perpendicular on the y-axis it is intersecting at 0. So basically the coordinate of this point is x comma 0. If it is over here, I am saying this is -x, so it is -x comma 0. If this point is -a, then we will write it is -a comma 0. So this thing is mentioned over here, that the coordinates of every point on the x-axis is of the form x comma 0. It means its y distance from the origin towards the y-axis, on the y-axis it is 0. So whenever we have this second coordinate is 0, it should be clear to you that the point lies on x-axis. Similarly, if the x coordinate is 0, we are saying x coordinate is 0, then the point lies on y-axis. So the points which lie on the y-axis, suppose I am talking about this point, suppose this distance is a. This distance is a, so this point will be -a. So the coordinates of this point will be, the x coordinate is 0. We are not moving on the x-axis, and the y coordinate is -a. This distance is a, this point is -a. The coordinates of this point are 0 comma -a. And if we are talking about the origin, it lies on both x-axis and y-axis. So the answer is 0, 0. So this thing is mentioned over here. We are saying the coordinates of every point on the y-axis is of the form 0 comma y, and the coordinates of the origin are 0 comma 0. Now in this question we have to tell on which axis do the following points lie. So the first point is 7 comma 0. So when we are talking about 7 comma 0, it means on the x-axis we are moving towards 7 units on the x-axis. On y-axis we are not moving anywhere, it is 0. So the point will lie somewhere over here. So basically we are saying this is the point 7 comma 0. So this 7 comma 0, it lies on the x-axis. Now second thing how you can tell is the point is 7 comma 0, y coordinate is 0. So if the y coordinate is 0, you can directly write it lies on x axis. In this last question again, in the last part, y coordinate is 0. This is y coordinate. So it means this point lies on the x axis. Similarly, in both these questions, the x coordinate is 0. It means it lies on the y axis. So whenever the x coordinate is 0, the point lies on the y axis. If y coordinate is 0, point lies on the x axis. If still you have confusion, you can draw those points. You can draw the coordinate plane and you can try to draw those points to find on which axis the point is lying. Now in the next question, we are being asked that the vertices of a triangle ABC are, these 3 points are given to us. A is 1 comma 4, B is minus 2 comma 2 and C is 2 comma 3 comma 2, and we are being asked to plot these points. So when we plot this point means the first thing we are going to do, we will draw the axis. There is a center over here O that we have marked. At this you will draw the line x and x dash. Then you will draw the perpendicular or vertical line over here and you will say this is y and this is y dash. Now we have to plot the points 1 comma 4. So we are saying on this graph we will mark these points. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is minus 1, minus 2 and minus 3. Similarly in the y direction it is 1, 2, 3, 4, then this is minus 1, minus 2. In the downward direction it will be like this. Now the first point we have to draw it is 1 comma 4. So 1 comma 4 means we are talking about on x-axis it is 1, on y-axis it is 4. So we are getting this point A as 1 comma 4. Next we have to draw B as minus 2 comma 2. So this is the point minus 2, y direction it is 2. We are getting the point B minus 2 comma 2. And then the last point is 3 comma 2. On x-axis it is 3, on y-axis it is 2. So the point we are getting it is 3, C point we are getting it is 3 comma 2. Now we join all these points and we obtain this triangle. We have obtained this triangle. This is the required triangle. Now to find the area of this triangle, what we are saying, we want the length of the base and we want the height. Now the length of the base is, we are saying, suppose I am considering this point over here. So this is the first block, so 1 unit. Then the next block is there, this is 2 units. Then the next block is there 3 units. Then the next block is there 4 units. Then the next block is there 5 units. So basically the length of the base is 5, and when we are calculating the height, we are saying this is the first block and this is the second block over here. So the height we have it is 2, and the formula for area of triangle is half base into height. So the answer you will get it is 5 square units. Now next question, we have the 3 vertices of a square ABCD are, a square is there ABCD and its 3 vertices are given to us. A is 3 comma 2, B is minus 2 comma 2, D is minus 3 comma 3, and we have to plot this on the paper and we have to find the coordinates of the point C, and also we have to find the area of this square ABCD. So same procedure is there. First of all we have marked the region, then we draw the x-axis, we draw the y-axis. Now we mark these points. On the x-axis it is 1, 2, 3 and so on. Then on the negative side it is -1, -2. On y-axis 1, 2, and in the downward direction it is -1, -2 and -3. Now the coordinates of the point A are 3, 2. So on the x-axis it is A, on y-axis it is 2. So this is our point A over here. This is the point A over here. Next we have the point B is -2, 2. So -2, 2 means we are talking about -2 on x-axis and 2 on the y-axis. So we get the point B as -2, 2. This is the point B we have obtained. Then point D is given to us. It is -3, 3. So when we are drawing -3, 3, it means we are talking about -3 is there and this is 3 is there. So we have obtained this point over here and we say this is the point D, -3, 3 is there. Now we have drawn these 3 points. Next thing what we do is we join these points. We have joined A and B. Then we joined A and D. Now the next point we want to make it a square. So to make it a square means we must, the length over here in from D, the length should be 2, the angle should be right angle. The length we have over here, it should be equal to the length of this side in this direction. It should be equal to length AB, and we are saying it should be perpendicular over here. So we draw a line perpendicular over here. We have drawn a line perpendicular over here. We are going to draw another line perpendicular over here. We draw another line perpendicular over here. So this is basically from the point B we are drawing. So wherever they will intersect, that point will be the point C, and we can see the coordinates of this point. Find the coordinate of this point means on the x direction it is -2, in the y direction it is -3. So we obtain that the coordinates of this point is -2, -3. Next thing we have to do is to find the area of this square. To find the area of this square we have to measure its length. So how we are going to measure the length is, this is 1 unit, then 2 units, 3 units, 4 units and 5 units. Similarly you can measure the length on the other side. It is a square, so it should be equal. So we are saying it is 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units and 5 units. It was a square, so the length will be equal. So what we get is the area of the square is side square, so it is equal to 5 square, that is equal to 25. So area of this square is 25. So we have to find two things. One is the coordinates of the point C that we have calculated, and second we have to calculate the area. It is 25. Similarly in the next question, the 3 vertices of a rectangle are given now. It is not the square now, it is the rectangle, and we have to find the 4th vertex. So the point A, B and C are given. So we adopt the same procedure. First of all we mark x-axis, origin and y-axis we have marked. Then we have drawn the coordinate axis. Coordinate axis we have drawn. We have marked the point x, x dash, y dash and y. We have the origin over here. We mark these points as 1, 2, 3 and so on. Similarly we mark the other points in this direction. We mark the points towards y axis and towards negative of y axis we mark the points. Then corresponding to these points we will obtain A is 2, 3, B -3, 2, C -3, 5. We have obtained, we will draw these 3 points. Then the next thing we have to do is we have to calculate the next point. So we join B and A, we join C and D. So when we join these points, now we know that the point D, wherever the point D is, it should be, if we are talking to draw from the point A, it should be perpendicular to AB. So we draw a line perpendicular to AB, and we draw a line perpendicular to BC at C. These are the two lines we are talking about. So what we get is, they will intersect at some point over here, and we say this is the point D we have, and the coordinates of D will be, what is the x coordinate over here? If we draw the perpendicular, so it will have the coordinate, whatever the coordinate of x coordinate of A is, it is 2, same will be the x coordinate for D. And what is the y coordinate of D? It is the same as the y coordinate of C. The x coordinate is same as the x coordinate of A, y coordinate is same as y coordinate of C, so it is 5. So we get that the point D is 2, 5. Next we have to calculate the area of this rectangle. To calculate the area, we have to measure the sides. So how we are going to measure the side? This is 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units and 5 units. So we are saying that the length of the rectangle is 5 units and the breadth of the rectangle is 1 unit, 2 unit and 3 units. So the area of the rectangle is length into breadth, that is equal to 5 into 3 is equal to 15 square units. This will be the area of that rectangle. So writing the square unit is also important over here, that whatever the units of these terms are, the area will be in terms of square units.